Hi guys, welcome to week 3 tutorial. In this video, we'll learn to transfer weights properly using the mask object and object masking tips so your item doesn't get rejected on ZEPETO Studio. Let's get started. In object mode, turn on creator base set. Let's turn off our top for now. Select base set, go to pose mode. Select the shoulder bone, not the scale bone, not when it's highlighted in blue. Select again to just select a regular upper arm left shoulder. R to rotate. You can see that the body is moving with the bone. From this, we know that weight is applied in the ZEPETO provided mask skin object, so we're going to transfer this well-applied weight to our model. Go back to object mode. Turn back on the top. With our object on in pose mode, when we rotate the upper arm left, we see that the right sleeve is also moving and it's being affected. And when we rotate the upper arm right, this bone, the sleeve doesn't follow with the arm. So let's fix that. Select base set, holding shift, select mask skin male, and then your item. It has to be in this order. So again, the bones, holding shift, select the mask skin, and then the top. Go to weight paint mode, weights, transfer weights, and come to the little menu down here and click on the arrow. Change the source layer selection to by name. Control click the bones until you see the outline. So click the scale bone and you see the weight boundary for that particular bone. Control click here, control click the bone, control click, and you see now that the weight has been applied. Come back to object mode, select the base set and the top. This time again in this order, the base set and the top, and then come to weight paint mode. We're going to go select each bone by bone to see if the weight has been applied evenly. Rotate around to check the boundary. Here you see it's not applied evenly, so select the blur brush, adjust the radius and the strength, and just click, click, click to blur out the boundary. Be careful not to blur too much. We just want to avoid sharp edges from color to color. And do the same for every bone that's affecting the top. You see here, this will create a weird scaling effect when the body is in a larger figure, so we need to smooth that out. When you accidentally blurred out too much, you can go to the draw brush, add weights. Weight value 1 is the maximum value that shows in color red, then orange, yellow, green, and blue. You can also choose a different brush. Click here to look for subtract if you want to take away the weights. Let's subtract a little here. Go to brush, subtract. When it all looks good, come back to object mode, select the base set, pose mode. Rotate the upper arm bone, and we see that the right sleeve doesn't follow. Try on the other side. It's behaving the way it should. Rotate the bones to check to see if any parts of the body is sticking out. And when you want to go back to the original state, select Alt A, Alt R to rotate back to the original location. Looks good. Go back to object mode. And we'll move on to object masking. Turn off mask skin male. Turn on just regular mask. Hide the base set for now. Select the mask. Go to vertex paint mode. Like we painted the eyeballs of the mask black in week 1, we're going to mask where our top object is. So just underneath the top, we're going to vertex paint it black. Reduce the size of the brush. Slash on your keyboard to isolate selected object. Slash back to unisolate. This is different from hiding. If you see in the outliner, you can still see that the top object is turned on, but you don't see it in the screen. From the draw brush, draw. Place your cursor in this menu bar, scroll until you see this, and click X to enable mesh symmetry. Now holding Control, paint the body parts that you want to make it invisible in ZEPETO. Rotate back. And with the reflection, it's not so clear where you're painting. You can go to Viewport Shading, click this little arrow, go to Flat Mode, and this becomes more apparent. Paint the rest. Please be careful not to paint any other location. Even with the slight gray, you'll see this part of the body becoming invisible in ZEPETO. Not holding Control will erase the black mask. Let's unisolate by slash. Toggle X-ray, Alt-C. I think we can paint down a little bit more. Toggle back X-ray mode, slash back to see the top, Alt-C to see in X-ray mode. Rotate around to check if you see any vertex paint visible outside the top. And we see a little bit here, so we need to delete that. Not holding Control, paint over. Now it looks good. Slash to isolate the mask again. I'll show you a little trick. Go to Viewport Overlays, turn on the wireframe. And because this is a vertex paint, we're painting in vertex unit. Let's say that you want to paint these faces. You wouldn't be able to paint it on the face. You would have to go to the vertices here. And when you want to erase the mask on these faces, instead of going over the faces, go onto the vertices and you'll be able to erase it. So from Viewport Overlays, toggle back on and off the wireframe when it's needed. Let's turn back the shading mode to Studio. Thanks for following along this far. We've got one more week, and next week we'll go through texturing tips and tricks to make it more appealing and look realistic. See you next week!